Hey, good morning. All right, want to give everybody a quick little tutorial on the rates here. It's like the biggest question we always get, like, hey, what are the rates? What are the rates? So just a quick overview. This is a chart of the 10-year Treasury. That's kind of what everything's based on when it comes to rates. So as you can see, I put some marks in there. Again, these aren't exact, but just you can know the point in time. The higher this goes, rates kind of follow. So this is where we're at right now. So as you can see, we've been the highest since we started the year, and we had that little drop off. So these blue lines that I've set are kind of like ranges that we're in. And for a while, we were looking good, and now we're just kind of teetering back up towards this top range here. Crossing back above this puts us in you know, the resuming the uptrend. We've had an uptrend, and then we broke it, and now we're just kind of basing out. Staying in this range is good. Above it starts to scare us a little bit, and then again over the top of this means it kind of opens back up. Now the Fed has talked about rates and dropping them and all these predictions. Their predictions are basically useless. I mean, back when we were down here, when the rates were 3%, and they were saying, "Oh, it's transitory. It's because of COVID. It'll go away." And then we saw what happened after that. Like they didn't cut them. This should have been where they started to raise them, but it was too late. And they did this mostly, within the past 2 years. So their hopes are to cut them, but now kind of as we see more political issues and out of the country type of stuff, like those are things that can affect numbers more than our own policy. When we send billions of dollars out of the country, even though they're not coming to us, it's still inflation because it's more supply of the dollars. So this 8% was right around the time of like when it just went crazy. They actually were talking about dropping the rates, but it still just went nuts. So you had that in like October of last year, and then we broke and everything came kind of, as they do, straight down, like, okay, everything's better. And we kind of petered out at the end of December. Since then, we've been on a little, an uptrend, but not crazy. Listen, we're going to have days like this. That's why it's so hard to say rates, because there's 1,000 things that go into rates to begin with. But then you have this where someone locked on this day is completely different rate than someone who locked on this day. That's a big swing. So for all my clients, we always, I follow this and we try to talk together and say, okay, where are you looking to close? Because in the long term, I think we're going to end up down. But for the short term, if you have to close in 2 weeks and you get a span like this, we're stuck locking at this point in time. So not only is the overall trend is still hopefully down as long as we don't really cross over this line, but the future, it's the timing of your own specific loan within this pattern that we kind of focus on. So this is where we're at now. We've kind of crossed back into the 7 ranges, and just a couple of weeks ago we were able to get mid to high 6s depending on who your situation. But now this is where we're at. So like, thankfully we locked everybody that I had in queue right around here. Within these couple of days, we're all locked. So anyone new coming in, it's a whole different pricing, but this is just how it goes. So following the Treasury is something I always ask my clients to do and watch with me. And I send it to them, on occasion or weekly when something new comes up so we can see it. But like, as you can see, this was an unprecedented run down and then right back up. So hopefully, we stay under here and this uptrend gets broken. Bouncing around here is a good thing. We can't drop too fast because then we worry about running into another span of inflation. So anywhere in here, it's reasonable. We've accepted this. This was like the peak of this is never going to end. So long as we stay here, like we hover here, and then as things look better, we see a bigger break, maybe breaking this blue line and start heading down into the 5s, into the 4s again. But realistically, we got a long way to go. We're not going to drop off to 3s anytime soon. I mean, this whole span was almost 2 years in the making. So slow and gradual is what we need. So just a quick overview on the Treasury, kind of how it works. This is things to look for and follow. And any questions, you let me know.